Shalom, beloved. God bless you and welcome back to Code Searcher. All right, take three. So, I'm trying not to be too excited because this was a hand delivered message from God. And I'm not saying that this doesn't happen all the time. There's only been two times, and this is the second, where God has used my brother Chris, who is still growing in code searching, guys. You got to understand, um, to hand me something. And I believe it was because God wanted me not to overlook. I overlooked it, guys. Before I went to the conference, I looked up BloodMoons, and it's there thousands of times. And so I took it as, needle in a haystack kind of thing. Unless something stands out, I'm not going to really jump into it. And went on my way. And, you know, I've been going through some seasons here where God's been conditioning me, and I've been paying attention to something else, working on these presentations for the DVD, and just by chance, I needed Chris for an answer to a question, and I go and look for him. He says, "Hey, have you looked at the table I put on Facebook, Blood Moons?" I'd seen it, but I didn't look really deep at what he had there, and so he gets up on Manicam and he starts showing me another version of this, and immediately when he does, because it's in it and not in this one, I saw my name right here. I didn't say anything, but I took it as a sign from God to pay attention to what he was saying. And but he did point it out later. So Chris also had saw it there, and but he went on showing there's shmitas here and uh, other things that kind of perked my interest, and I wanted to know more what was there. So I said, Chris, what was the axis width? And he tells me 20,014. And I said, oh, 2014. He's like, no, 20,014. I was like, yeah, 2014. Yeah, that I should have looked deeper when I originally looked, and that probably would have been an obvious search. And God used Chris to show me not to just brush things off. Um, and when I started looking at it, line by line and getting deeper into it, I was just overwhelmed with the Holy Spirit with a sense of urgency. And the first thing I wanted to do was grab my shofar and just blare on it. And I wanted to make a video before sunup, guys. This was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I worked on it till 6:30. Just God was showing me one after the other. It was like, I was almost like working in fast forward or something, because I've never seen a table come together so quickly where God has revealed so much so fast. So the sense of urgency was apparent. Um, I had to stop myself from the impulse to put the video out too fast, because I felt like there probably is something else God wanted me to see. Stop. A little bit, having a little time here. So, I get the information from him on the width, and plug it in and go find it, pull it up, and like I said, I was just overwhelmed, and it was clear to me God had done something here that He wanted us to see, and so let's just go to it. This is the access term Chris originally had here. And so you can see I've been working on a lot. So I had more than enough to do. It wasn't like I needed something to do, but I knew God was showing me something. Here's the same access term and everything God showed me. And, you know, I don't consider myself to be a genius, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that there's something here that God's trying to tell us. So if you're not sitting down, please sit down. Take your time. Don't rush through this video. God's got a message here, and I'm not going to rush through it. I'm going to take my time and give it to you uh, calmly with some strings. So sit back and enjoy. And so we have God's message written in blood moons. Now, I just said sit back and enjoy, but some may not, because there's some doom and gloom here, guys. There's no getting around that. For me, I look at the light because I know the timing is critical, and we're almost there. For some people, it's going to be bad, very bad, and uh, there's no there's no prayer, there's no praying that away. God means business, and He's also a merciful God. That is why He's allowed the codes, why He purposed the codes for things like this, in particularly because this is to me a personalized message to His people, and He hand delivered it to me through another brother with my name on it. And like I just said, here it is. Here, this is what Chris had. The mem in Blood Moons is the beginning of it. It's my name here, and it rests on the shin of Shemitah. So, like I said, I was caught between um, a blood moon and a Shemitah, which is exactly what the conundrum was for me about 2 or 3 years ago when I was looking at codes and finding days, years that seemed to have strong significance. I just didn't understand what. And as the pattern unfolded more and more, um, Shemitah came from Jonathan Kahn. This helped me understand the pattern, the sevens, the sabbatical cycle. And, the fact that my name is there like that and in between them both struck me when I first saw it. Chris pointed it out. Um, that's what got me. Now, he had other verses he was looking at. Um, when I finally got the access term pulled up here, the verse that I noticed right off the bat was right there. You can see the word blood. It's just two letters, a daled a mem. Um, but I knew running right through there what that was, as I could see it closer. And so I said, oh, okay. The more and more I dug, the more and more overwhelmed and overcome with a sense of urgency. That's why I wanted to do a video before sunup, but it occurred to me that I needed to resist that because there's possibly a lot more here God wanted to show me, and there was. So I appreciate you guys who've been waiting on this table for your patience. Um, uh, I think it was for the best. A lot here, guys. It is very clear to me that God is showing us something. These blood moons are to be paid attention to, especially when they happen on His holy days. Any other blood moon is just another blood moon. It's nothing special about it, and that's why I didn't. When I saw so many of them encoded in the codes, I was like, wow, talk about needle in a haystack. So, but God had other intentions. He wanted us to see this. Um, there were several things that stood out. I mean, I even saw very similar phrases to what God's been saying. Bain Yamin, Yamin Bain. Behold, the days are coming, and there's other variations of that in this table, at least two or three times. So it was like God was compounding the message to me, and Lord, help me resist rushing through this. Father, may you open the eyes of your people. God, may they receive this as a word from you. And I pray in Yeshua's name. Thank you, God. All right, we're just going to go through this systematically, and I'm not going to rush. If you can't handle a long video, then you should probably do this in increments. But I gotta be thorough in this and not skip anything. Um, Before I even run any ELS, which ELS is equal letter distant priori or post priori terms called by other code searchers. These are terms that you plug in after you have an access term. Before I did that, I went through every line, and I could have highlighted all lines, but these are the ones that I felt impressed by the Lord to point out Then I went and put in the ELS terms that God gave me, and there and the interaction, and you can see here with this verse and that verse with the United States running through there. Also with the word goyim, the nations. There's interaction there. Those are the things I pay attention to: interaction with verses and words and convergence, um, things that stand out that to me are from God. Um, that's what I point out. And there are many times where ELSs are redundant, and so I don't always use them. I use the ones that the Lord shows me are relevant, because what you're seeing here is we're looking at a something that's meant to be understood transdimensionally in a two-dimensional form. We can't see the resonance of those terms to other tables, because this is bigger than just what we're looking at. All terms have relevance, but what is relevant to the table you're looking at is key. Um, like I said, this is heavy, and God means business. The blood moons mean something. So if you're making videos about how stupid it is to pay attention to blood moons, or it means nothing, you really hadn't done your homework. And no, um, God uses them for signs. Um, where do you start? It's just so much. Chris had Jubilee is in here a couple times, and you see it here coming down in the Yod, um, the Vav there. Now that's interacting with another word, which is travail. It's running across here in these orange. It's also coming down. Jubilee is connected with that. It also ends right here on that bet. The other side, the O's down here and running up, Jubilee. Now, the other thing that caught my sight was this here, because this has appeared already before in another table that I'm currently looking at, which is two candlesticks. And you can see right across the axis term, it's right there. And that's the days are shortened. Okay? So, noted. I saw it in the other, highlighted it. And so, days are shortened has a connection to the Jubilee. What it means at this point, I don't know yet. Um, also noticed that there was a balance on things. You got Israel balanced on either side. You also got on either side, not quite balanced, but you have Mikdash, or the temple, on either side. Four, you got one here and one there. So there was some symmetry there. Also, straight up and balanced on the Yod in the same line is Elijah, which is the other thing God was telling me, that the days of Elijah are very close. I think that's why he was putting that verse or phrase in my head for so long. One connection to the two witnesses. The other thing I noticed in here was his mercy and his grace, which is right here. It's also here. Um, I noticed there's one on either side. Uh, Chris also pointed that out. He pointed out this one, but he didn't realize there was another one there. Four is right here. Rapture in the red right here. Now there's a connection to Jonathan Kahn, his last name with the new. It starts over here in Zadikim, or the righteousness, the Kuf, the Aleph, Hey, and Noon. Khan. Khan is also up here the other direction in this verse. Right under the word harbinger, by the way, harbinger is here um, a couple of times. It runs through the verses this way, connecting, and with that mem, I decided to highlight the word for nations, goyim, right there. Um, it's also here. America runs right through there. The United States is here and on the other side, I believe. Yeah. Wait a minute. It's up here too. It's up there on this side and on the other side. We'll just scroll over there and show you. Where's it at? Maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't on that side. Sorry about that. I put probably 12 or 13 hours on this, so my eyes are pretty strained on this. Appointed time right here. Uh, America and the United States are connected. You can see the Tav in House of Israel. Um, the Shin in Harbinger is running through something I thought was stood out, which is shall be punished for her iniquities. Um, Chura is here. It's running this way through the whole um, span of this, right across this way. You see the hay there. Travail with the Laman butted up against Mikdosh, which is connected. So travail is going to be connected to the temple summit. The stress from building the temple, the Muslim world is probably going to cause some problems, most definitely. That Lamed is shared with the same word, so there's like a convergence there. God is pointing to something, and he had already pointed that out as what's here, which is really what I've been hearing God say. Uh, the days are coming. Rapture also passes right through there. The Shin up here in Jeremiah, Lamed running right through there is rapture, connecting with the whole days. The days are here, are coming. Uh, Travail is also over on the other side here. With the word war is only here one time. The temple. We have a year, Hey Tav Shin on Hey, which is 2015. Now 2015 is here um, in 5 letters, but it's also here as Tav Shin on Hey. Where was it? Maybe it was my other table. No, I know what it was. It's up here connected, and I had to look, guys, because this is what I've been expecting for a while, is the appearance of wormwood, which is right here. These letters here, very short skip, connected to Goyim, the nations. Now the ion, this is where the 5775 2015 is right here. It's also vertically right here, connecting or butting against the Shin in Comet, right there. So yeah, I think it's significant. That's something the Lord put on my heart about years ago. I would be in that generation that sees it. We have a Safe, or the gathering, right here, another rapture term. Um, what else we got? I want to cover this thoroughly, guys. Of course, we've got Shemitah running right here through the blue letters. My name with the mem standing on top of it. The righteousness. Jonathan Kahn is here twice. By the way, Mark Biltz is here as well. I just didn't. Chris made mention this is overkill, so I had to back out some terms, or you wouldn't be able to really see comprehensively what all is there. Obama's name, I had to run him too. Let me just move it out of the way. It's down here at the bottom, connected to, and this is by no accident, Leviathan, right there in the yellow. Uh, Days are shortened. Here's a note. These verses that run through my name, um, I received those as a personal confirmation or message from God, because it's Psalms of David and ones that were relevant to me coming out of the weekend, or the week, really. I highlighted a couple of those. Um, what other verses? Let's see. We got travail right here running through the date. Travail this way. Israel. So this is about Israel and the United States. Those are the two covenant nations I look for. People have asked me, do you ever look for other countries? Yeah, when God leads me to it, but for instructional purposes and as a rudder or gauge, I use those two. All right, let's see. I think that's all the ELSs I have here, and Chris has had more. I thought what was more powerful is what God was saying in the text, and there'll probably be more come out of this. in the days to come, guys. Just for right now, I want to get this out. We'll go through the verses. Um, and thus ends the 20-minute ramble. Hang in there, beloved. We're getting through it. Um, Verse 1 I have highlighted. And ah, I'm going to pull the camera down so we can see this part, guys. Hold on just a second. And we're at this verse. Here is in Jeremiah. We're in the 22nd chapter, 29 uh, is where we're at. Let me see here. 22nd. And it says, "O earth, 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 hear the word of the Lord." And I kept on reading further just to see what was actually there. And what caught my eye is just a little bit lower is, "Behold, the days are come, uh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper and shall." But that's further to the side. So again, the phrase God's been giving me. The next one is we don't have to go there. It's Ahares, you the land of Judah, connecting with the hay and the Jubilee. Of course, this is where comet comes through right there, and the two letters from the date here with the shin in there. Now, this is also something that caught my eye. There's a verse here, had the Tav from the United States. We'll go there. It's also Jeremiah, and we're in the 51 chapter. Um, let's just go to, "I will bring them down like lambs to slaughter." And I'm reading all the way across the page, folks. So "I will bring them down like lambs to slaughter." America's connected. "Like rams with he goats. How Shishak is taken, and how the praise of the whole earth surprised. How Babylon has become an astonishment." We're talking spiritually. "Astonishment among the nations. The sea is come up upon Babylon." Now, folks, is Iraq near any oceans? "She is covered with the multitude of the waves thereof. Her cities are desolation, a dry land and a wilderness, and a land wherein no man dwelleth, neither doth any son of man pass thereof. And I will punish Bel in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he had swallowed up, and all the nations shall not flow together any more unto him. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall." And continuing on, "My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord, and lest your heart faint in your fear for the rumor that it shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come one year, and after another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold," again, folks, "the days are come." And here again, we're seeing it in Jeremiah, "that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her." Like I said, God had compounded, "Behold, the days are come." So let there be no doubt, God is speaking. Behold, the days are come. Get your house in order. Bless your name, Father. This is the line where Wormwood is. We're coming on down to Ezekiel. We are in 25:17 is what I have highlighted. "And I will execute great violence upon them with furious rebuke, and they shall know," and this is America's tied to this again, "and they shall know that I am the Lord, and when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. And it shall come to pass in the 11th year, in the first day of the month, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, because that Tyrus hath said against Jerusalem, Aha, she is broken, that was the gates of her people, and she is turned unto me, I shall be replenished. Now she is laid waste. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Tyrus, And I will cause many nations to come up against thee, as the sea causeth waves to come up. Another reference to the sea. Uh, Make sure I didn't miss anything further down that. Huh. All right. Um, Over here. Now this is where harbinger comes together with the shin in this word here phrase. I highlighted only it because of its relevance to the word. And it is in Ezekiel as well, 14:10. It's the first part of the verse. Um, excuse me. And they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. Right here. And we're talking about America. Alrighty, and now down here we are in Ezekiel as well. Ezekiel 38, starting with, we'll go to 16. Right, and end of days is here as well. In the latter days, you'll see that it's right here. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel. Wait a minute. We'll start at 15. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, and all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land, and it shall be in the latter days, in the end of time, that I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know, I don't have my glasses on, may know me, and when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes. Thus saith the Lord, art thou he of whom I have spoken in the old times to my servants, as of the prophets of Israel? Now listen, we're talking about modern times, and he's talking about the spirit of Gog. We're talking about a spirit. It's an evil spirit. I have spoken in old time by my servants of the prophets, which prophesied in those days many years, that I would bring thee against them. And it shall come to pass at the same time, when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord God, that my fury shall come up in my face. Don't mess with Israel, and don't divide his land. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath I have spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. Harbinger, the great shaking is coming, guys. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains. Thus saith the Lord God, every man's sword shall be against his brother, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. I will rain upon him and upon his hands, and upon many people that are with him, an overflowing rain, great hailstones, fire, and brimstones. And direct connection to America here. Jonathan Cahn's name is right under that, under Harbinger, where Harbinger runs through. Do we want to keep going? Thus I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations. America's going to be made America's going to be made an example, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Next verse. I didn't highlight that one. Chris highlighted Hosea, but the one that caught my eye, running through the Yod and BloodMoons, folks, and we are going here now, is in Joel. And of course we're talking about the 3rd chapter. You guessed it. And we're going to read it all. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit. This is what God was confirming to me before he showed me this. He was telling me, I'm going to pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. Folks, if your family is going through a spiritual battle right now, God is going to overcome that with an overwhelming outpouring of his spirit. Okay, so all those people that are related to us, that we love, that are on the fence, that are not right, God is going to, with his love and mercy and grace, pour out his spirit so that they can be delivered or freed or be able to see what's taking place. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaidens in those days I will pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, and blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Then the sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and Jerusalem shall be delivered, as the Lord hath said, and a remnant whom the Lord shall call out. For behold, in those days and in that time I shall bring again in captivity Judah and Jerusalem, and I will gather all nations and bring them to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And by the way, folks, the Jewish people look at the battle of Gog and Magog as Armageddon. And I will plead with them for many people and for my heritage Israel, whom have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Take notice, folks. The blood in Blood Moon, or pillar, blood. Blood was what caught my attention, and of course it's in Joel. Next verse is in Obadiah, and let's see. We're going to go to chapter 1, starting at verse. Let's start at 11. And in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and in the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners entered into the gates. America's running right through this, folks. The foreigners entered the gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou wast one of them, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, let's read that again. Thou shalt not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on the substance in the day of their calamity. Neither should have stood in the crossway to cut off those that did escape. Neither should thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in a day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon the heathen, and as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own hand. For ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, and shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Upon the mountain Zion shall be delivered, and there shall be in holiness. The house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. You get the picture, folks. God means business. The next verse is Nahum. Of course, that was Obadiah. The fact that those prophets come up, and they rarely do, God's tailoring this message. We're in Nahum, 3rd chapter. We're going to start with verse 1. Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of wheels, and of prancing horses, and of jumping chariots. The horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of the corpse. They stumble upon their corpses, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-flavored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selling nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. And I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and I will make thee vile, and I will set up thee as a gazing talk. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Whom will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comfort for thee? And of course, we're talking about spiritual Nineveh. The United States connected. Also, travail is connected in there too. Next verse is Zechariah, one of my recent beloved favorites. We're in the second chapter, starting with verse 1. Notice how they're all starting in the very first verse. Cry yet, wait a minute, and lift up mine eyes, and behold, four horns. And I said unto the angel that talked to me, what are these? And he answered me, these are the horns which scattered Jerusalem, Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. And the Lord showed me four carpenters. Then I said, what do these do? What come these to do? Of course, we're talking about the craftsmen. And he spoke, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, and which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah, to scatter it. I lifted up my eyes again and looked, and behold, a man wearing with a measuring line in his hand. And he said, whither goest thou? And he said, to measure Jerusalem, to see if the breadth thereof and the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him. And he said to him, run, speak to this young man, saying to Jerusalem, she shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, saith the Lord, will be unto her a wall of fire around her, and will be the glory in the midst of her. Come forth and flee from her, from the land of the north, saith the Lord, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion, and dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory he sent unto me into the nations which spoiled you, for he hath touched you, touched the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be as spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me. And I read further than we should have, but you get the context there. The next one is also Zechariah. We're in the 14th, so let's see, so you can see here, 14th chapter. Again, first verse, and we'll go. Let me adjust it again here. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, as the women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. And at his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And on the Mount of Olives shall be cleaved in the midst thereof toward the east. Glory to your name, Jesus. And toward the west. And there shall be a great valley, and half the mountains shall be removed, toward the north and toward the south. Glory to your name. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountain, for the valley of the mountain shall reach unto Azel. Yea, shall flee, like ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and his saints with thee. And It shall come to pass in that day that light shall be clear, nor dark. And it shall be one day which is known to the Lord, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that evening time it shall be light, and it shall be day, and the living waters shall go forth, go out of Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter it shall be. And the Lord shall be king over them and all the earth. And in that day there shall be the Lord and his name one. Glory to your name. Um, then we're coming down to where, let's see, that's also, this is Psalms, I believe, 15th Psalms. We'll come down to this one is the 50th is where that one is. 14th verse. Offer unto God thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High. Call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. But unto the wicked God saith, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou should take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing that thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee? And when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. And that's a message to somebody out there. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slandered thine own mother's son. And then these things thou hast thou done. I have kept silence, and thou and throughest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. I will reprove thee, and set them in order before mine eyes. And that's powerful. Then we come down to this verse, also in Psalms. Let's see, 85. 8 is where we're going to be. Hang in there, guys. Show mercy and show us thy mercy, O Lord, and grant us salvation. I will hear what God the Lord will speak, for he will speak peace unto his people and to his saints, but let them not turn again to folly. Surely his salvation is nigh them that fear him, and the glory and that glory may dwell in our land. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed one another. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yea, the Lord shall give that which is good, and the land shall yield her increase. That's powerful. Now, that was right here. I read on. What was this one? I didn't highlight it. I felt it really. Let's just read what I had highlighted. Every one of them could have applied to me, I felt like, at the time. That we're in 142 Psalms. 8 is the verse. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name. The righteous shall compass about me, for thou shalt deal bountifully with me. And continuing on, it says, a Psalm of David, Hear my prayers, O Lord, give ear to my supplication. In thy faithfulness answer me, and thy righteousness, and enter not into judgment with thy servant, for in thy sight shall no man living be justified. For the enemy hath persecuted my soul, and I was being tried to be hacked. Somebody was trying to hack me. He has smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me dwell in darkness, and those have been long dead. Therefore my spirit overwhelmed within me, and my heart within me was desolate. Remember the days of old. I meditated on thy words. I mused at the work of thy hands. I stretched forth my hands unto thee. My soul thirsteth after thee, a thirsty land. See, and then the next one, what also spoke to me, which is, excuse me, here. Oh, yeah, let's see. Actually, I think that's a proverb. Is it a proverb? Yes, we're in Proverbs, 8th chapter. Uh, at verse 25. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth, while as ye had not made on the earth, nor in the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the earth, which prepareth the heavens. I was there when he had set a compass upon the face of the depth, and he established the clouds above. He had strengthened the fountains. No, I think I attributed that to Jesus, not to me. I should have highlighted the other ones. Oh well, we'll keep going. Um, and he gives the sea to his degree, and the waters should not pass in his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him. This, to me, guys, I didn't mean to say that. I meant the other verse. This one, actually, I thought spoke about Jesus to me. So apparently, I need to be corrected. Next verse is chapter 20, verse 27. Alrighty. Spirit of man. This is the one I liked. The spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord, searching the inward parts of his belly. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy. I mean, that's where the Shin from Shemitah was. The next verse I had highlighted was Daniel, the ninth chapter. And like I said, we could have went through so many more, but here we're talking about Daniel's 70th week. And it's definitely relevant. Let's go to 18. Yeah. Oh my God, incline thine ear and hear. Open thine eyes and behold our desolations in the city which is called by thy name. For we do not present in our supplication before thee for our righteousness, but for thy great mercies. O hear, O Lord, hear, O Lord, forgive, O Lord, hearken and do not defer, not and defer not for thine own sake, O my God. For thy city and thy people are called by thy name. And he's making supplication for the end time Israel, for what was going to happen. The Lord let him see, and he was greatly affected by that. And he informed me and talked to me and said, "O Daniel, I am come now forth to give thee skill and understanding. At the beginning of thy supplication and the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore understand the matter and consider the vision. 70 weeks are determined thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgressions and to make the end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and bring everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and the prophecy, and to anoint the most holy." Definitely an end time verse. There you go, folks. We've run 48 minutes. It's not that bad. Um, Still, a lot there. This is roughly less than a day's work, um, about 13 hours. God revealed a lot, probably more than he's ever revealed to me at one time. I would take it very seriously as a word from God. He's telling us, pay attention, get your house in order. There's judgment coming, and these blood moons are important to pay attention to. He's telling us, pay attention and beware. Get your house in order. So, guys, listen. Um, Hold on. False alarm. I thought I had someone knocking at the door. It's just a mighty wind again, blowing out there. By the way, guys, I'm about to go through a really bad storm, it seems, in North Louisiana. Keep me and my family and those in our community in your prayer. There's supposed to be some very strong winds, possibly tornadoes. And I'm no one to be afraid of storms. God is in complete control. Just keep us in your prayers. The middle of the night is the night that my time with the Lord. So I'm going to be up on storm watch and also in prayer for those in my community for tonight because the storm is picking up. There's a lot of turbulence and unstable atmosphere, they say, and so keep people in my community and those around the other states in prayer. You know, it's no surprise that we're going to see things like this, storms, tsunamis, earthquakes. It's the end of days. So, also the other thing, this is probably going to be the only video, unless the Lord leads me this week, because I got a preparation week is what I'm calling it for me for the DVD. I'm going to be going to Jonesboro to be with Johnny Boy Watkins and Fault Line Grace Ministry to do the DVD. Keep me in your prayers this week. I'm going to be really busy putting all that together and making sure I cover every detail to get up there. I thank you for your support and your prayers, and for all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. God bless you, and be looking for the next video.